ثم رددناه أسفل السافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين الله أكبر الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا السماء انفطرت وإذا الكواكب انتثرت وإذا البحار فجرت وإذا القبور بعثرت علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت يا أيها الإنسان ما الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك يا أيها الإنسان ما ربك الكريم الذي خلقك فسواك في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك كلا بل تكذبون بالدين وإن عليكم لحافظين كراما كاتبين يعلمون ما تفعلون إن الأبرار يتلون يوم الدين وما هم عنها بغائبين وما أدراك ما يوم الدين ثم ما يوم لا تملك نفس لنفس شيئا والأمر يومئذ لله. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ما كان محمد أبا أحد من رجالكم ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبيين وكان الله بكل شيء عليما. ما كان محمد أبا أحد من رجالكم ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبيين وكان الله بكل شيء عليما. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا الله ذكرا كثيرا وسبحوه بكرة وأصيلا. هو الذي يصلي عليكم وملائكته ليخرجكم من الظلمات إلى النور وكان بالمؤمنين رحيما. تحيتهم يوم يلقونه سلام وأعد لهم أجرا كريما. يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا وداعيا يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا وبشر المؤمنين بأن لهم من الله فضلا كبيرا ولا تطع الكافرين والمنافقين ودع أذاهم وتوكل على الله ولا تطع الكافرين والمنافقين ودع أذاهم وتوكل على الله وكفى بالله وكيلا. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Just a couple of announcements. Today was our first day of Saturday school, as some of you well know. So we learned a lot. Things went very well, and some things we have to tweak and tune and get better at. So I want to thank a few people, especially the team, the Saturday school staff, who not only gave up this Saturday, but many Saturdays during the summer to prepare for this day. And alhamdulillah, it went pretty well. Like I said, there's things that we need to tweak and tune. We went a little bit over schedule. I didn't allot enough time for the Quran evaluation, so we're learning, we're getting better. And I appreciate the patience of the parents as well as we test and tune and improve things. I think overall it went very well, and we're super excited to start the new school year. And I wanted to encourage parents. So I have everyone's contact information. I email out, and I will email out when there's important announcements. However, if you want to get into the WhatsApp group, we have one called Saturday School Parents. So if you go to alzahraislamicCenter.com, the very first button is Saturday School. It takes you to the Saturday School page, and the very first button on that is joining the Saturday School Parents WhatsApp group. That's where we'll have discussions, because as things change with COVID guidelines, as we need to tweak and tune things, I'll have the discussions there with parents that are interested in having those discussions, and then when we make the decisions, you'll get the email. So if you want to be a part of the discussions, please join the WhatsApp group. One thing we need to be more strict on is the masks. And we need to kind of isolate certain situations around making wudu and eating and things that we're thinking about to kind of limit exposure, because we are meeting in person. There is always a potential that we may have to go virtual. You know, God forbid if any child gets sick, it is possible we may have to shut down. Thank you. You know, for a couple weeks to protect everyone. So we're having all those things in mind. And if you want to be a part of the discussion again, please join the WhatsApp group. First button, Saturday School, right on the homepage. And then the first button after that is the WhatsApp group. And again, huge thanks to the Saturday School staff. There's no way we could run and do what we did today without everyone pitching in. Out of the woodwork, just contacting me and saying that they want to be a part of the school and help out as much as they can. We're very lucky as a community actually to have as many interested young people that really want to give back and make this school as good as it can be. So huge credit to them, and again to the parents for bearing with us as we're getting our bearings and launching a brand new school from scratch. So I just wanted to thank everyone, and I think that's it. Mustafa is going to translate into Farsi.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Before I translate it in Farsi, Haj Hashemi, our dear president, asked me to say a few words about Sunday school in English. I don't want to repeat everything what his son said. As you know, today was the first day of the Saturday school. Sorry, not the Sunday school. Saturday school. I received the feedbacks. Everything went very well. Unfortunately, I was not here. If you don't have kids, you're not allowed to be here on Saturday school. But everything went well. On behalf of the Zahra Islamic Management Board and our community and the parents, I would like to extend our thanks, not to you only, brother Ihsan, but also to your staff, who gave up a lot of their Saturdays to come here, prepare everything, and also be aware that your hard work is well recognized, and we appreciate it. Not only as a management board, but also as a community. So everybody, the teachers, our dear brother Ihsan John, they did a great work, and we really appreciate it. We thank you and your staff. Please recite salawat for dear brother Ihsan John and his team. all the teachers, teacher assistants, and everybody who assisted with preparation of the Saturday school. برادرها و خواهرای عزیز، سلام علیکم و رحمت الله و برکاته. قسمی که در جریان هستین، امروز روز اول مدرسه بود و من میخوایم به نمایندگی از اعضای رهبری مرکز اسلامی زهرا، به نمایندگی از تمام والدین، از احسان جان، از تیمشان، از استادا و از سایر کسایی که همکاری کردن و این مدرسه را امروز تا اینجا رساندن که اطفال میتونن اینجا بیان و دروس اسلامی یاد بگیرن. این یک کار آسان نیست. اینا بسیار زیاد وقت گذاشتن. روزای تنها یک شنبه نبوده که یک روز آمده باشن کار کرده باشن. چندین شنبه خدا آمدن اینجا وقت گذاشتن. دیشب مثلا تا 1 بجه شب اینا کار کردن، آمادگی گرفتن. کار بسیار زیاد است و زیادتر از این کارها داوطلبانه است. اجرشان با آقای امام حسین، خداوند در دنیا و آخرت بر از اینا اجر بده و هر کس که وقت میگذاره، خصوصا در مدرسه که اطفال و نسل آینده ما و شما کسایی هستن که اینا بیاین یک چیز یاد بگیرن و در راه اهل بیت قدم بگذارن. اینا بنیادش گذاشتن، زحمت میکشن و اجر از اینا فقط با خداوند و اهل بیت علیه السلام می باشه و ما نمیتونیم که تنها با تشکری اینا اجرشان بدیم، ولی چیزی که از دست ما فعلا است که ما ازشان تشکری میکنیم و شما هم میتونین که تشکریتون ابراز کنین به اینا، به برادر عزیز ما احسان جان و تیمشان، تمام اساتید و کسایی که همکاری کردن، با صلوات بلند. With that, I would like to invite Sheikh Abdul Jalil to the member with a loud salawat.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، سيدي وحبيبي ونور قلبي، طب القلوب ودوائها وعافية الأبدان وشفائها ونور الأبصار وضيائها، أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين ذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. قال الله العلي العظيم في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد منهم أن يطعمون إن الله هو الرزاق ذو القوة المتين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد. Our topic tonight is about a very important question that every decent person has to ask himself this question. If not every time, at least at some point in your life, you have to ask yourself this question. And this question is, why do I exist as a human being? In other words, why did God create me? Why do we live as a human being? Because as you look at everything around you, you know why. You look at the animals, you know they exist so we can use their meat and their skin. And Allah told you in the Quran. Why did we created all of these things for you? أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا أَنَّا خَلَقْنَا لَهُم مِّمَّا عَمِلَتْ أَيْدِينَا أَنْعَامًا فَهُمْ لَهَا مَالِكُونَ. Allah said, can't they see? We created the animals with our ability and power, and we made them to control them. فَمِنْهَا رَكُوبُهُمْ. Of those animals, some of them we ride them. Horses, donkeys, camels. وَمِنْهَا يَأْكُلُونَ. And some of them, no, you eat them. You slaughter them, you use their skin, and the list goes on. Not only that, when you look around yourself, everything that is there out that you can see, you can touch, you can feel, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you the reason of all of this is because of you. Everything is created to serve you, human being. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you in the Quran too. وَسَخَّرْنَا لَهُمْ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا مِنْ. Everything that we created in the heavens and the earth, all in combined, they are to serve human being. And Allah goes to the Quran to explain some of them for you. An example, you go to Surah An-Naba, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَلَمْ نَجْعَلِ الْأَرْضَ مِهَادًا. Didn't we created this earth smooth for you so you human being can move around easily? Imagine if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was to make this world, this universe, all mountains. How would your life be? But you say, out of mercy for mankind, we made it smooth so you can move around easily. Not only that, then he tells you also, وَجَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ لِبَاسًا. We created night so you as a human being, you can rest. To regain your power and your ability so that you can work the next day. So the night is for you as well. Not only that, it says, don't you look in the sky? How we created the heavens. And as we created these heavens, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descend this water from the sky, which becomes the source of your life. وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً ثَجَّاجًا. We send down from the sky delicious water. Now as you look, the water we drink at homes, you have to treat it. But the water that comes from the sky, rainwater, is the purest and the healthiest water you can ever find. As a matter of fact, in some of the hadith, that rainwater as it comes, it cures diseases. And Allah said, Ma'an tahura. Tahur, which purifies. Now purifies in tafsir, it can be purified from najasa and purified from some diseases too. But all of these to serve you. Now the question that comes is this. Ya Rabb, oh Allah, you created everything around me, from the heavens to the earth to all my surrounding to serve me. But my question is, Ya Rabb, who am I there to serve? Now I know everything to serve me. But what is my responsibility on? That is the question. Now as we talk about, every human being has to ask themselves, why do I exist? Why do I live? As one question, our first Imam, Al-Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, salamullahi alayhi, Allahumma salli. He tells you and I, it's not just one question you have to think about. Actually, there are three questions. We think about one question. Imam Ali added two more questions. What are the other questions? I said, number one, before you think about why do I exist, now ask yourself, where was I before I came to this world? Did I exist while before that? Or my creation just started from the day my mother conceived me? Which one? Not only that, then there's another question also Imam Ali said. I said, then you have to think after this world, where are you heading to? Three questions. One is, where was I before I came? Why am I here? And where am I heading to? And Imam Ali calls it thalatha ayniyat. Three where, which means, where was I before this world? Why am I here? And where am I heading after this world? Does it mean that after we die, that's it? There's no more life, like some people believe? Your life is all about this world. If you want to enjoy, it's this world. If you miss this world, that's it. When you die, it's over. But we don't believe that as a Muslims. We believe the life starts way before we came to this world. And the life continues after we die. But tonight, I'm just going to share with you about how many worlds every one of us have to go through. But then emphasize on one out of this world. For your information, every human being, every one of us, whether we like it or not, we have to live within 6 worlds. 6 worlds Allah created. Now the first world, it still exists. There are people living in that world as we speak. The second world, some people have already lived. They left the first world, they're now in the second world. They live in there. They're waiting for their turn. Some people have moved from the second world to the third. Some are in the fourth, some are in the fifth, but the sixth world is empty. Nobody's there. So there are 6 worlds every one of us have to go through. The first world is called Alam al-Arwah. In a hadith, it's called Alam al-Dhar. That is where we all started. Every one of us have lived in that world for a certain period of time, but we don't remember. But by the way, don't keep in mind that there are so many things happen in your life you don't remember. However, by the time Yawm al-Qiyamah comes, you will remember everything. But we live, the first world is called Alam al-Arwah. Every one of us were there at the same time. If you want some explanation about this a little bit, read Dua al-Nudba. This dua tells you more about these worlds. Alam al-Arwah is where we started. When Allah first created our father Adam alayhi salam, after Adam was created, everyone who will exist and live, all of us, we were created right at that time. And don't be surprised, even at that time, Allah tells you in the Quran, I talked to you while you are in Alam al-Arwah and you responded to Allah. But we cannot remember. The same way right now, you and I, we know, we lived in our mother's womb. But right now, can you remember anything in that world? Never. But you know for sure you were there. And not only you lived there for a month or 2 months, months. And many things happen in the world of that mother's womb. You don't remember anything. In Alam al-Arwah, Allah spoke to you. Many conversations took place but we don't remember today. But let me share with you some of the conversation. The first thing Allah asked you and I in Alam al-Arwah was to ask you, Alastu bi Rabbikum? Do you bear witness that I am your Lord? In Alam al-Arwah. Guess what our answer? Every human being answered, Bala, yes, you are. But what is amazing, according to the Quran, Allah didn't ask you the question immediately. According to the Quran, Allah said, we made you to see yourself in Alam al-Arwah. After every one of us saw themselves, their image in Alam al-Arwah, then Allah asked you, am I not your Lord? And you said, yes, you are my Lord. But there is something to think about, brothers and sisters. The question looks weird. How would Allah show you yourself in Alam al-Arwah and then turn around and ask you about him? If Allah to ask you about yourself, yeah, makes sense. But Ya Allah, you said, وَأَشْهَدَهُمْ, ayah from the Quran, أَشْهَدَهُمْ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ. I made them to witness themselves in Alam al-Arwah. Then the question came, Alastu bi Rabbikum? Am I not your Lord? Qalu, they said, who? You and I. Bala, yes, you are our Lord. Ya Rabb, you showed us ourselves, and then you turn around and you're asking about you? How does that relate to themselves? Here the answer is yes. Allah showed you yourself and then ask you about him, because when you recognize yourself, you see Allah within yourself. And that is why the hadith says, Man arafa nafsah faqad arafa rabbah. You cannot look at yourself and not see Allah. It's impossible. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you in the Quran, Sanurihim ayatina fil afaq wa fi anfusihim. We will show them, human being, right, in themselves the greatness of Allah. If you want to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you don't have to look around anywhere. Just look at yourself and you can see Allah there. That is why the hadith says, Man arafa nafsah kana bi rabbihi a'raf. Whoever is able to recognize themselves, then it's easier for them to recognize their Lord. That is in Alam al-Arwah. We spoke to Allah. We saw one another in Alam al-Arwah. We saw our Imams in Alam al-Arwah, and we recognize this is Imam. That is in Alam al-Arwah. We lived there for years. Then from that world, Allah transferred one after the other. From Alam al-Arwah, we came to the second world, and it's called Alam al-Aslab. Alam al-Aslab means what? The world of your father's spine. Your father, that's the first one. From Alam al-Arwah, it goes to the father. And pay attention carefully in Ziyarah of Imam Hussein. When you read, all of this is there. In Ziyarah, what do you say? Ashhadu annaka kunta nuran bil aslab. That's the Alam al-Sulb. I bear witness, Ya Aba Abdullah, you are not nur here in this world. No, no, no. Kunta nuran, you have been fil aslab. Al-aslab is the plural of the word sulb, and sulb is the spine of your father. And that is why we have to respect our fathers. Al-Imam Zain al-Abidin remind you, Sallallahu Alaihi. He reminds you in Risalat al-Huquq, as the right of your father upon you is to remember to know that he is your origin. Annahu asluk. You begin your life started from there. From Allah, the next human being became a great help and great blessing for you is your father. And we lived in that world of our father's spine for years too. Then from that world, you get transferred to the third world, and it's called Alam al-Arham, the mother's womb. That's the third world you live in. And mother's womb is another miracle, brothers and sisters. What a woman. Allah, if you want to see the mercy of Allah, look at a woman and you can see all of that. In that womb that we all were there at some point, that womb, as you look at it, the way Allah created it and what it contains and what it can do is enough to let you and I to understand the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed you and I in that womb, do you know how much Allah have surrounded you with His blessings? Number one, in that womb, Allah put 3 different walls just to protect you. You are in the mother's womb. Allah put the first fence around you in that womb. And that fence that Allah put is to protect you from any outside weather. It can be freezing out, but the temperature in that place is absolutely the same that Allah wants it to be. And nobody can mess up with that temperature. It is so hot outside, the temperature stays the same thing for Allah's mercy upon you, so that you are in mother's womb and you are protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from one thing to another show you His miracle one after the other. You live there. After you and I got created fully, the first organ works in the mother's womb is your ears. Your eyes cannot see. Your hands cannot function. Your legs cannot. But your mouth cannot function. But your ears can. فَجَعَلْنَاهُ سَمِيعًا بَصِيرًا. Sami'an, the first thing is your hearing. They can hear everything. And the doctors today, they are proving too. A child in the mother's womb, he cannot see anything, but he can relate to his mother's voice. She can relate to the mother's voice. She can relate to the voices around her or around him while they are still in the mother's womb. And the womb is called Rahim. Rahim in Arabic, from the word Rahmah. You start from just a liquid that you started. From that liquid, Allah turn it to become a chunk of liquid. Then it becomes a blood. Then it changes to become a chunk of blood. Then it becomes a bone. Then from that bone, you become different creation, one after the other. Then from that point, Allah shapes you the way He wants you to be. وَهُوَ الَّذِي يُصَوِّرُكُمْ فِي الْأَرْحَامِ كَيْفَ يَشَاءُ. He said, I, Allah, I am the one who shapes you how I want you to be in your mother's womb. You come, you look at yourself as a brother, as a sister, and you are happy the way you look. Do you have any hand in that look that you look at yourself? Who decided you to look the way you look? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You live in that world for some of us 9 months, some even more. Then you come to the 4th world and it's called Alam al-Shahad. Now we all, right now, we are in the 4th world. Alam al-Shahad. Alam al-Shahada is called Alam al-Shahada. It's the world of witnesses. You can see, you can hear, you can touch, you can smell, you can taste. But your 5 senses, this is what's called Alam al-Shahada. You can see this. That is the 4th world. Then from this world, you go to the 5th world. And it's called Alam al-Barzakh. Right now as we speak, there are many people there. They're still living there. Some are happy, some are not. The same thing like here. Some of us are happy, some of us are not happy. In Alam al-Barzakh, there are many, many people who are there and have been there for years. And they're going to be there waiting and living their life for years. The last one that is empty is called Alam al-Qiyamah. Nobody's there. That world is empty. Why? Because that world is going to happen one time and we all going to go there together. Every world that we mentioned, we go one by one after the other. Even to Barzakh, Allah said, لَكَدْ جِئْتُمُونَا فُرَادًا كَمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. You came to us one by one. But يوم القيامة, no. Allah said, فَإِذَا نُفِخَ فِي السُّورِ فَإِذَا هُمْ جَمِيعٌ لَدَيْنَا مُحْضَرٌ. The day that they blow the horn, he said, no one will be exempted. All of us. We go to the يوم القيامة together. That is the alam. No. Just pay attention a little bit from the ziyarah about some of the things we mentioned. And ziyarah of Imam Hussein, he says, أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأسلاب الشامخة. And then you say, والأرحام. عالم الأرحام. والأرحام المطهرة. You confirm that yes, Imam Hussein was in Alam al-Aslab. He was also in Alam al-Arham, as we mentioned. We all were this world, one after the other. Now we believe as a Muslims that after this world, it's not the end. There are a long life than this world. There is even better world than this world. وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. That is why we have to work for that world, not this one. That is why we have to always keep that world in mind, not this one, because this one is temporary. The most important world is the Qiyam. Mu'min, your focus should be that world, not this one. This world is temporary. And no matter how much you try, how hard you work, it comes with different challenges. The life that you can ever find free of problems is Qiyam. When you get into Jannah, inshallah. But tonight we want to focus on the fourth world, the Alam al-Shahada. Why did Allah place me in this world? Did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala place us in this world? To eat and drink and have fun? Like some people think, life is short. Just make use of it and have fun. That's what some people say. Life is short, so make use of it and have fun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said no. وَمَا خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا لَاعِبِينَ. Allah said, we did not create what exists in the heavens or the earth or what exists between them for the fun and play. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لَوْ أَرَدْنَا. If we want to play, we would have played ourselves. We don't need to create somebody to come and play. لَوْ أَرَدْنَا لَاتَّخَذْنَا مِنْ لَدُنَّا إِن كُنَّا فَاعِلِينَ. So if somebody thinking in their mind, Allah created us to have fun, to enjoy life, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no, that's not the purpose. And by the way, you live in America, you have seen the West. Those who are the leaders of the fun and play, what did they achieve in this world? I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, especially the youth, you have to know your message. Why did Allah put you here? Life is not about what you see on the street. Life is not about what you see on the internet. Life is not about what you see in this world here and there. There is more to it that Allah wants from you. And you, as a human being, you are the most precious creation of Allah. Don't allow others to steal you and take you away from your responsibility. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you in the Quran, وَلَكَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمْ وَحَمَلْنَاهُ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ. Allah said, we have honored human being. You are not just to come and live and have fun. No, your message should be better than that. Second reason, some people believe, no, Allah created us so we can come and just live our life and then just time by time we die and that's it. There is no actually good reason. And they're called ad-dahriyun. That way Allah created, God created us, and there is no purpose for this life. All what it is you eat, you drink, you have job, get degrees, that's it. But if this is all life about, then what is the difference between me and animal? Because the animal, the moment they wake up in the morning, their aim is to eat and eat till the sunset. That's all. And moreover, to become stronger and bigger so they can use their meat more. But what is the reason why God created me on this planet? If I am to come and eat and drink, then what is the difference between me and those animals? The purpose is not the food or life about this, what we see. There is more to it. Now question, Ya Quran. Let's ask Allah, Ya Rab, you created us. Why did you put us here? The ayah comes from the Quran. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Allah tells you the reason why He created you. He said to you, Ya Ibn Adam, O the son of Adam, خَلَقْتُ الْأَشْيَاءَ لِأَجْلِكَ. I created everything around you for your service. وَخَلَقْتُكَ لِأَجْلِي. And I created you for myself. When you become a servant of Allah, that is the purpose of your creation. The moment you and I become slaves or servant of other things, then we are lost. How so? You look in this world that we live in. Allah created you and gave you something called nafs. And that nafs, there is something called fitra, nature. That fitra, if you look at it, Allah created something in it that human being by nature, they have to surrender and serve someone, something. And there is no way you can get away from it. You have to. By nature, Allah created you. In your nafs, there is that fitra is going to make you to serve someone. If you don't serve Allah, the nafs is going to force you at some point to serve something. How? You know, some people, they say, I'm atheist, I don't believe in God. I don't worship anything. That's not true. Yes, you might not believe in God. You might not worship God. But listen careful. You have to be a slave of something. Whether you like it or not. Imam Hussein alayhi salam on the day of Ashura, what does he say? He said, An-nasu abidud dunya. Either you are Abdullah or Abdul Dunya. And you can see them. Some people, they are slaves of certain things in this universe. When they refuse to become slave of Allah, they become slave of something. Number one, some people, they are slaves of their own desires.